What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Nikki with another Scripture Speaks video. And as you know, on this channel, this is not just a channel, this is a journey to discipleship. But this is Reaction Wednesday, and we're gonna react to a video, and it's been trending. It's I think this is in Florida, but the guy got pulled over. The police assaulted him pretty much. So we're gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna give you a few of my thoughts on this. And I want to let me see who channel. What's the name of this channel? This I pulled this from the channel of the title of his YouTube page is The Lead Attorney. So we're gonna look at the video a little bit, and then I'm gonna give you my biblical perspective on this whole situation. Let's get into it, guys.
Bread ain't breaking, just feeding the beast. Need would he step on the block, sandals to the asphalt, or would he preach to the void, blame it on our faults? What if Jesus reacted to this? Bread ain't breaking, just feeding the beast. Need would he step on the block, sandals to the asphalt, or would he preach to the void, blame it on our faults? What if Jesus reacted to this? Bread ain't breaking, just feeding the beast. Need would he step on the block, sandals to the asphalt, or would...
Okay, guys, so let's get right into this video. Let's look at it.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over.
All right, let's stop it right there. This gentleman has asked the officer.
Okay, so he asked him why he was pulling him over. He gave him his reason for their reason for pulling him over. Now, what happens in this video is really the tragic part of this whole thing. So we're gonna look at what really happened in this video that really has everybody a little bit up in arms. So we're gonna get to that part. Because he started out by asking the police why did they pull him over, and they told him, and it just escalated from there. So let's look at it.
Okay, so what did he ask for when he I guess,
When he pulled me over, he walked up.
Look at this, look at this. This officer is saying, hey, tell me what's going on, talk to me. The first officer isn't asking any questions like, get out of the car, get out of the car. The second officer says, hey.
I want to get to the part where it escalates. And really just the triggering part for everyone.
Statement of law, but that's fine. Let's keep going.
Can you pull that law?
yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Hey.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Oh.
Vehicle now! Exit the vehicle!
All right, let's stop it
Now,
right there.
that's the part that has everybody up in arms and upset. Now, to be honest, I overlooked this video a lot of times, and when I finally took a look at it, it is triggering, and I think that it's sad that it does go on. But in this video, he shows where a situation similar happened, and I'm going to show you that. But what I say to this is, at the end of the day, we are human beings, and our sinful nature is what you saw. When he punched that young man, when he busted his window and punched that young man, that's the sinful nature of people, where their heart is not in a line with God. And I think a lot of people get frustrated with Christianity and God when we speak about being kind even when people are mean, when we speak of doing what God says, when we feel like we're in a war zone, and the word of God tells us to put on the full armor of God. And I will say this, and don't get mad at me. It took a minute before they bust the window. Don't get me wrong. He did not have any business punching him. But I will say this. You have to pick your battles wisely. When he was talking to the cop on the other side of his door, and that cop was talking to him pleasantly. If you can hear in the video, he was talking to him, telling him the why they pulled him over. Then he was telling him it's no inclement weather, and it's a lot of people without lights on. And he was like, that doesn't matter. So once he said, can you call your supervisor? That's when he said, well, go ahead. And basically telling him, hey, do what you got to do. Bust the window, get him out the car. Now, the punch in the face is the real issue. The violence, the pulling him out of the car and continuing to punch him is the real issue here. So that is the hatred, the ignorance of white people. Now, should it have happened? No. But I feel like he should have did what he had to do and really just follow instructions, get his ticket, and go about his business and go to court and fight it. Because you're on the street. And in that situation, because the attorney mentions it, I think he's an attorney, and he mentions it in his video, in which I believe to be true. Now, it's horrible that he punched that young man. But at the same time, we have to pick our battles. We can't win when we're on the street and the police are telling us to do something and we're trying to exercise our rights on the street. That's why they always tell you when they give you a ticket after pulling you over, you have every right to go to court and dispute this ticket to get it off of your driving record or whatever. So asking for a supervisor at a time where they're asking you to do something. Now, granted, it was wrong. Again, I'm going to continue to reiterate that for him to bust the window and punch him. But again, it's not just about the ignorance of some people that they decide to exercise their authority in the wrong way. Those people will be dealt with. We are living in a falling world. And we all have our own way of thinking. Now, did I see that and feel like that was wrong, that was inhumane, that was disrespectful? Yes, it was. But we also have to know that we don't have to always go up against the police. Something has to change with our interaction with the police. And a lot of us are really starting to feel like we found some type of power in saying, you can't do this to me. But at the end of the day, because he said it in his video, from my understanding, after the investigation, they deemed that what the police officer did was they didn't do anything wrong. And can we make this about race? We can, but there were black police officers on the scene as well. And my reason for viewing this video is to give a biblical perspective, but also to help us understand that When somebody hates you because of the color of your skin, we have to learn. It's not overlooking their ignorance, but we have to understand that that doesn't have nothing to do with you all the time. And you have to practice humbling yourself. Because when two people, their sin nature rises up, it causes a problem. And this is the problem that it causes. Because he feels like he has a right to tell them, hey, I didn't have to have my lights on. And they feel like, well, we pulled you over. Just follow our instructions. Because when you raise your window up and keep it up and you refuse to give them what they ask you for, they feel like you're hiding something. Then it escalates. It turns into, well, we need to get them out of this car because something is wrong. They won't give me their ID because they ask you for your license and registration and insurance, and you give it to them. Then they go check everything out and they bring you back your ticket and you go about your business. Even if you don't like what they pulled you over for, then you go to court and tell them it was not raining and they didn't have a right to pull me over. I didn't need my lights on. It was daylight. So when you think about it, we still have to make sure that we're fighting the right fight. Are we fighting to be right, or are we really fighting the injustices and the way that the police uses their authority to abuse us? Is that all that it is about, or are we really trying to change some things? So let's look at another situation where he showed this is it. I think he showed another video where the police officers handled it awesome. And I think they did too. It was a lady that they pulled over. So we're going to look at that too.
You have rights too, but we don't have to show you that stuff, man.
Okay, let's.
Completely free and unbiased. On average, seniors who've worked with chapters saved over $1,100 a year. So now again, this lady is being completely unreasonable. She's asking for proof that she broke the law. Where do you get proof? Where do you see proof, guys? Where do you see evidence? Guys, you see proof, you see evidence in court. I don't know why certain people want to argue their case in the street. So you've got a community member being very unreasonable, but look at the tone of these officers. Look at their patience. This is what you want in good police work. Let's go.
She just told you that you did. Ma'am, we don't have to show you our radar equipment. No, we don't. No, we don't, ma'am.
I want to verify. How are you going to accuse me? It was officer.
She wants to verify the speed gun.
How does she pick me out of all the people? I didn't break any laws.
Can we have your ID, ma'am? That's all we need. I just explained all that to you. And yes, I did, ma'am. Because we don't have to show you what our radar stuff reading is. No, we don't, ma'am. Maybe for court.
Exactly.
Not right now. Y'all know we are too, ma'am.
Look at
Yes, ma'am.
Look at this.
Still waiting for your ID that you won't give me.
Yeah.
Look at their tone.
See, I'm glad that he did put this in his video. I thought it was awesome because it gives us a comparison that all police officers are not bad. And we see a lot of things that trigger us and make us upset with the police. But this is a white woman, and that's a black woman in the car. And she's trying her best to keep the situation calm, not to de-escalate the situation. I mean, not to escalate the situation, but to de-escalate. She's trying to keep it calm. So I thought it was awesome that he showed, another video in comparison to the one that I showed you at the beginning of this video. I thought that was very important because what we need is proper training. And we also need better communication between the police and citizens, in different cities and states. Because the problem is we see so many things that gives police officers a bad rep. And to see these police officers trying their best to keep the situation calm and in a good place without it turning into, hey, I got to be mean to you and I have to show you that I have the power. He's speaking to her. He's trying to be as calm as possible. And the lady just, cheesed and made a little, gesture to let her know, hey, we want to keep this calm. We want to keep this under control. So let's continue to look at this one, because I think this is very important for us to see something different from what we are, because the first video is what we're so accustomed to seeing online, and it upsets us, which is understandable because that was assault at the end of the day.
Process go a whole lot faster.
Let me pause it. Guys, look at this. Now, I'm not.
You hear what he told her? He said it could go real fast. Basically, if you just give us your ID, this could go really fast. And that's what they were trying to get her to understand. This could go really fast. Now, this is the part I want you to see, because the same thing just about the same thing happened. Let's look at it.
Not providing your ID? Do you have a warrant? And the officer's also saying, hey, ma'am, if you could please keep your hands visible. One of the #1 priorities for these officers should be to make it home alive and well. We saw that in the first clip too, where the officers were saying, hey, let me see your hands, let me see your hands. That's fine. In both situations, the officers are looking out for their well-being. That's exactly what you want. But again, you can see the difference in the tone and the demeanor. All right, now what's been going on? Now this lady is using her phone to call her family members down to the scene. Now the cops are like, all right, she's calling her family members down. Now it's time to remove her from the car. Let's go.
Dear, I'm gonna give you a lawful order to step out of the vehicle. Ma'am, I'm giving you a lawful order to step out of the vehicle. Okay? Lawful order to step out of the vehicle. You're failing to provide your ID at a lawful traffic stop, which is a crime. Okay, so you can either roll the window down, or I will break it. Okay. So, ma'am, you've been given plenty of opportunities here. Are you going to provide your ID? Are you going to provide your ID? Absolutely. Are you going to provide your ID? Speeding. Speeding was the reason for the traffic stop. Are you going to provide your ID? Are you going to provide your ID? Okay. I've asked you several times, you refuse to answer. Are you going to step out of the vehicle? Are you going to step out of the vehicle? Okay, ma'am, you are now under arrest. You are under arrest for obstruction of official business and failing to provide your ID. Step out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle, or I will break the window. Step out of the vehicle, or I will break the window. Ma'am, I'm telling you one more time. Step out of the vehicle, or I'm going to break the window. Okay.
Oh my God!
Please step out.
No, I didn't do anything wrong. Okay.
He keeps saying, please step out. Look at this officer. Amazing.
Oh my God!
Wait, let me rewind that again so you guys.
So we see, let me go back to my big screen. We see that he asked her on several occasions. He said, you are under arrest. He said, step out of the car. Step out of the car. She's, let me see your manager. He said, step out of the car, I'm going to break your window. Now, I don't know if that is right, but obviously, because we've seen 2 videos where they were able to bust the window. And the way he busted it was to make sure she didn't get hurt, but that he could get her out of the car because she was refusing to comply with what he was asking her to do. And she was asking for proof that she was speeding and all of those things. And I just think that all of that just didn't make any sense to me, you know, to be saying, you know, prove to me that I was speeding. And she was like, show me how you clocked me speeding, show me where, you know, what you clocked. And they were like, we don't have to do that. See, what you do in that situation, and this is justice. If they did something wrong for pulling you over and you can prove that you were not speeding, then you could go to court and prove that. And guess what? Justice will be served. Now, I want to end this with a biblical perspective. So we're going to look at Micah chapter 6 and verse 8. It says, no, he has told you what he wants. Talking about God. And this is all it is. To be fair, just, merciful, and to walk humbly with God. So us as civilians, we're serving God. So we don't have to prove that we're right to the police officers. And to police officers, they don't have the right to throw their authority and their weight around and think that they can mistreat us. Because it said to be fair, just, merciful, and to walk humbly with God. Now, as you can see, the second video showed where they showed her respect, the utmost respect. And she was continuing to tell them that she was not going to comply because they could not prove that she did something wrong. Now, when you refuse to give your ID, again, when you refuse to give your ID and you refuse to do what they're asking you to do, they think you're hiding something. That's the first thing that pops in their mind. So again, Micah 6:8 says, no, he has told you what he wants, and this is all it is, to be fair, just, merciful, and to walk humbly with God. And I hope that this video gave you a different perspective, because there are always two sides of the coin. It's no side to be taken. When somebody's wrong, they're wrong. In the first video, we saw that police officer was dead wrong. In the second video, we saw there was a person just not willing to comply, wanted to be combative, and she ended up getting in worse trouble than just a ticket. So to get upset and get triggered, we have to understand the real war that we're in, and it's the enemy. The enemy will keep us divided, because if I say that he was wrong because he didn't comply, one side is going to be upset with me and call me a coon and call me crazy. And if I say, well, the police was wrong and we need to defund the police, and just talk bad about the police, then you're going to have those people who are going to come on and say you sound ignorant, they this, that, and the other. You're going to get all of these comments and all of this backlash for just simply saying what you believe. But what I believe is we need to learn to be just, fair, merciful, and walk humbly with God. So I love you guys. Let's reprogram our thinking. Let's get back to love. Let's recover the life that the devil tries to take from us each and every day. And most importantly, guys, God may not be there when you want him, but he will definitely be there in the nick of time. Peace, and I'm out.
Scroll through the word, revelations unlocked. Wisdom so fresh, got my spirit restocked. Streaming hope like podcasts on demand. Faith-built visions, God's work in my hand. Scripture speak.